we also have an interview with Montclair State senior Charles Ezenwanne. Please tell me if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, it's Ezenwanne, but
Ezenwanne. Okay.
yeah,
That was my second guess, but I didn't want to I didn't
okay,
want to mess it up,
yeah,
So thank you for that. So Charles is a senior here at Montclair State University, studying molecular biology and minoring in chemistry, correct?
yes.
Cool. Charles believes his creative and promising research project helped him receive 2 national awards, and which we will be getting into. And he does the lung cancer research project. And thank you so much for joining us, Charles, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We're very excited to have you. So to start off, could you explain the lung cancer research project?
Yeah, sure. So, me and my team right now we are studying the anti-cancer effects of methylsulfonomethane, or MSM for short. This is a nutraceutical, which is a natural supplement, as opposed to pharmaceutical, which are synthetically made. So nutraceuticals can be found in foods, plants, just natural supplements that studies have shown to have benefits towards people. So we are trying to see the molecular pathways that MSM plays as opposed when exposed to lung cancer.
Very interesting.
So how has your research how has your research project helped you progress forward in your career?
Yeah, so I would say that my research project has helped me very much. Been doing it for so long now that it's really helped me take more of an active role in science, asking questions, figuring out data, problem solving skills, a lot of very priceless skills that I wouldn't have gotten if it wasn't for doing research for so long. Being able to meet people, talk about my project with other scientists, and just my communication skills in general, becoming a scientific communicator and expressing some details about my projects to other people has given me traits that are very priceless. And throughout my academic journey, it's helped me take more of like an active role, like I said before, in science. And just so when I'm in my classes, I'm always thinking, maybe I can add this to my project, add that to my project. So those are some of the things that I would say that has helped me in my journey.
For sure. And you're very impressive, and so impressive that you actually received 2 national awards. So could you talk about those real quick?
Yeah, so these 2 national awards are, both of these awards actually are to help raise awareness to minority students, basically getting them interested into this field of science and giving more access to minority students to the field of science. So basically these awards are basically trying to say that we need more minority students in the field of science. So I believe that my story, my background coming up, disadvantaged background, being a minority, as well as the role that I played, the active role that I've played in proposing a research project, writing grant proposals at such an early age in my career, has helped me win these national awards towards my project.
Wow, that's great.
So that's really great. You obviously like are very interested in this field. So why was this field something that you decided that you wanted to do?
So I've always wanted to stay in the kind of like the biomedical research kind of side of things. I do want to go to medical school at some point in my career. So I've always had a great interest in just research and questions that can help patients in the long run. So things like lung cancer, things like that. So it's always been a great interest of mine, just being in the biomedical field, just in general. So just lung cancer was just something I happened to pick up working under my research mentor for so long. They were working with lung cancer, not lung cancer, but lung cells. I just picked up more like cancer patients, like lung cancer, things like that. So I just wanted to stay in the whole biomedical side of things. Hopefully I can continue my research throughout medical school as well.
Yes, that's great, really. In your article, it states that you were one of the 10 awardees selected nationally for the scholarship, the Doors Award. which was designed to strengthen the number of underrepresented minorities in science. What does being that representation mean to you, and why is it so important?
Yeah, so being that representation means a lot to me actually because um there is a lack or not as much minorities are represented in the field of science. So I would say it's very empowering actually to be able to be put into that position. I've ever since my college career, I'm a LSAT mentor, which is also another program that helps raise the number of minority students in the field of science on campus. I'm also a health career scholar, which is a program on campus as well that helps raise the number of minority students getting access to tools needed to apply to medical school and just being on equal footing and getting access to those kinds of opportunities as well. So I've always been in the position where I want to mentor other people because as being the upperclassman now and having that mentor when I was an underclassman and now being able to give back and being able to be that representation for other people, it's been really empowering because there is a lack of representation in the sciences for minorities. So I'm just trying to say like we need more minority students in the field of science.
Yes, no, I could very much agree with you. I think diversity in any field is fantastic.
Hmm. And congratulations on your research project and your two awards. These are pretty incredible accomplishments. And with that being said, are there any new projects or research that you're currently working on or would like to start in the future?
So there is a lot of avenues that we can go with this project. There are so many different directions that I can go with it. I would like to stay in this realm, kind of looking at what I'm doing. So being at the undergrad level, the project was developed at the undergrad level. I was a sophomore when I developed this project. So right now the project is very scoped, is very specific. The questions that we ask have to be very specific because we don't have as much like funding. So let's say for like a big pharmaceutical company who can, with billions of dollars, who can run this at a quicker speed, or someone with grant funding from like the NIH to run this like very quickly. So I would like to stay with this specific research question, even though when I go to like medical school, say for maybe I have more funding, more mentors, more access to resources, I would like to stay because there are so many questions that I can ask with this project. Even while I'm doing it now, I'm always saying like, we could do this, we could do that, we can see what this does, see what that does. And then sometimes my research mentors have to like slow me down and say, hold on, we don't have that much time, we don't have that much funding, we can't do that, So I'm very limited right now, I feel, with the project, but I feel as though we can answer specific question at the undergrad level that can add value to cancer research, and hopefully I can continue this project with more resources in the future while I'm in medical school. But that being said, like, we have to see what the future holds.
Yes, and I'm sure in the future, all of your thoughts and everywhere you go with everything will come to something really good. I'm sure of it. Do you have any advice to those that want to get into this field and to become researchers and or scientists?
Yeah, so my advice for people that are trying to get into it is just to ask questions, always be intuitive. Taking like, it's one thing to go to class and like to understand like kind of like the science, but you have to understand that the stuff you're learning in class are tools, are scientific knowledge that you can use to answer these questions. So when I started this project as a sophomore, I was limited in the amount of scientific knowledge that I had because I was still taking my classes. Now that I'm a senior about to graduate, the amount of knowledge, scientific knowledge that I know that we could do in this project is like fascinating. Like we could do this, we could do that. It's just very fascinating. So just realizing that you're not only are you taking classes like just to get like a good grade, but you're using it as tools to help you in like scientific field. So ask the professors, what are they doing? Like what research are you doing? How do I get involved? Stay in the lab. I was as a freshman, I was just kind of like a lab assistant working under my research mentor, just doing things here and there under her grad students. And then once they graduated, I wanted to ask my own questions, see what I can do. So just always staying curious, always asking questions. I say that's the biggest way to get involved in research. Especially like I like to tell other my peers, like who are minorities, like we need you out there. You're gonna be the next representation for younger people who want to get involved in this. And it's very discouraging not having that representation. So just being the person asking the questions, being intuitive, taking an active role in your classes and in science is my biggest advice.
Wow. Yeah, that's great advice, honestly.
It is. Like knowing how much hard work and dedication you put into your project, how does it feel knowing that your project and your research is helping to make a difference?
I would say it's really empowering actually, because I never actually really thought my project would gain as much like traction for mentors that I did when I was a sophomore, because I was a sophomore when I wrote this grant proposal. I spent like the entire winter just thinking about like what's already been in the research, what is the a topic that is not really out there, such as nutraceuticals, what is where can value be added. So it's very empowering just knowing that the amount of traction that my project is having right now and the value that it could actually potentially make in cancer research is very empowering to know. So yeah.
No, and cancer research is like very important, and it's crazy that it's still, something that has to be researched and figured out. And, we haven't found a cure. And I think it's great that you're a part of that. And you're, like I said before, very impressive. And I can't wait to see what else you have in store in your future moving on, and when you get more resources and all that type of stuff. And so you're really great. Thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.